strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bulldog here, and today I'm just gonna have a little bit of fun with the video here. This is something that means absolutely nothing, but I'm gonna take a look at 6 of my favorite suggestions for improving Splinterlands. And none of this is likely to come to the game anytime soon. The team has plenty of things that they're working on. I want to make it very, very clear straight from the beginning that this is just for fun. I know there's if any of the devs are watching this, they're probably rolling their eyes about throwing more potential things. So they've obviously got plenty to work on. They've got land coming, they've got boss fights coming, they've got validator nodes coming. There is all sorts of stuff that they are working on, so I am not suggesting that they stop any of that. This is just kind of a for fun thing. I completely recognize that there's a limit to how much they can put together. So I hope nobody takes this as criticism or saying these things should be in here. So hopefully I made that clear, right? This is just for fun. Things like this have been talked about in the community a lot this week, as it tends to be for whatever reason the last few days. Throwing around suggestions, sometimes very detailed suggestions and plans for the game has just kind of been kind of a fun topic. So we're going to continue it here on my video series, and we're going to look at 6 things that at least we don't know of that are being planned. Now, obviously, like land, boss fights, those things are cool, but I'm gonna add some extra things that I would really like to see. And I also want to let you guys know, if you did not already know, that there is a website for you guys to submit suggestions to. So if you have ideas that you would like Splinterlands to use, you can go to feedback.splinterlands.com. I'll show you comes to this website right here, and you can put things up. You can put things in here that you would like to see. The very first one on my list, actually, let's see. I can pull up. I submitted what 7 months ago, before I was community manager or anything like that. So I've submitted some of these here as well. And it can be a little fun. So let's jump into our list. Because the team does use that. I go through those personally and kind of look at the ones that were upvoted the most. I pass them on to the team, things like that. So it is used. Now, like this one right here, that was been 7 months, just because it's even been liked, it's been upvoted quite a bit. That doesn't necessarily mean the team can get to it. So not everything is going to get implemented, but we legitimately do use that. So anyways, on with the list. Number 1 is a PVE campaign to help players learn to play the game. So I think in my opinion, one of the kind of the biggest hurdles is attracting new players and getting them to stick early in the game, because the new player experience is honestly just not very fun. A lot of times you jump in, there's a little bit of a tutorial, but it's a very weak tutorial. You jump into PvP and you just get smashed by bots or humans that are better than you, and it's very hard to get going in the game. So I would like to see a PvE campaign where players can play through it, and it would do a couple things. First off, we can have we've got lore, right? We can have a story. We can get players introduced into the characters, kind of start to get people attached to them. They'll want to know more about them. Give a story into the game. Second, you can teach the game. You can have it set up so, okay, maybe in this battle, maybe your opponent's using a lot of sneak attacks. We need to learn to counter sneak, and you're going to do that by using a tank with a taunt up front, so that the sneak characters all hit them. Whatever the case is, you can go through a bunch of different scenarios, show different ways to play different cards, different ways to play against other cards, and just really allow players to better learn the game in a more new player friendly environment, without going up against other players or anything like that, just going up against the computer. Now, something like that should not necessarily give cryptocurrency rewards. We don't necessarily want a bunch of people farming new accounts to farm up those new rewards, right? So how do you reward players for going? How do you get them to actually play through that and not just skip over it? I think that would be a great way to earn the starter cards. So have it so maybe you start out with just the fire starter cards, and you go through and you play through the campaign and you learn how to use those, and then maybe you go up against up against the life, and once you go beat the life campaign, you unlock the life starter cards, and then you have to use the life starter cards to go unlock the earth starter cards or whatever the case is. Have it so that those starter cards aren't just there in your account right away, but you have to actually go play through those campaigns and earn those cards, and then those players will feel like that's something that they earned, and then they can jump into battle and start using those. And I think that would be kind of a cool way to get players introduced to the game. It wouldn't be, if you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with the game. You're probably familiar with the mechanics and everything. This wouldn't necessarily appeal to you. It wouldn't be for you. It'd be for new players who are starting the game, trying to get into Splinterlands, to help ease them into the battle system and everything, and help them understand the game better. I think that would be absolutely huge for Splinterlands. So along with that, along with making it easier for new players, I want to see achievements. And I know the team's actually talked about achievements, but I kind of want achievements to be done a somewhat specific way. I would like to see achievements unlock more starter cards, but temporary starter cards this time. Your temporary ghost cards. Those are your non-NFT rewards. And this is once again to help new players, or even new players to a league. There's a bunch of different ways to do achievements. Now this would be a tall task to put out this many achievements, but in a perfect world, I think it would be really cool to see achievements on every single card. So, okay, you start out with Obsidian, you can have maybe an achievement, do X amount of magic damage with Obsidian. At bronze, you can have like a bronze achievement, a silver achievement, a gold achievement, whatever the case is. And then whenever you can have some, maybe even some sort of like, I don't want to say titles because we've already got titles and those have a different role, but some sort of icons like that show that you've gotten these achievements. But then you could also unlock temporary starter cards. So maybe once you complete Obsidian's achievement, you unlock a starter llama card for 3 days. Or something like that. So players might want to go get that achievement so they can get a llama for 3 days. And once again, this is really geared toward new players, because when you jump into that PvP, what's the problem? You face off against all these bronze bots that are very good with using the starter cards, and they just crush new players. If you could have achievements, this could be a way to give new players an advantage. They go get that Obsidian and they've got a llama for 3 days to play with. And then maybe they're trying to get llama's achievement. Maybe llama's got an achievement of win 25 battles with a card in the last stand. And then once you do that, you unlock another card or whatever the case is. And each card can have a different card that they unlock. And you can kind of, new players could kind of be trying to go through those achievements and maybe getting addicted. Okay, I got llama. Now I've got 3 days to get this achievement done. Otherwise, I got to go rent it myself. And then you start playing with llama a lot, and you realize, oh man, I really like this card. How much does this card cost? Maybe that's too expensive. But how much is it to rent? Well, that's not too bad to rent. Maybe I should start renting this card more. I see how much it's helping me win. And you can introduce players to a lot of new cards. And then you can also give them an advantage over these bots down in bronze. Now, when you first release this, bronze bots would be on their kind of even playing field where they're getting all these ghost cards too from their own achievements. But then after the bots burn through these would be a one-time thing, one time at each level. Again, in my case here. So then after you've had these bots that just, okay, we've got the bots that camp in bronze, whatever, their whole life. Well, after a couple weeks, they've unlocked all the achievements they're going to unlock. They've unlocked all those cards. Now they're back to playing with just the starter cards or whatever whatever low-level cards are being put in their account. And you've got the new players coming in, getting some of these more powerful cards through achievements, and maybe evening the playing field a little bit because they can use those and get some wins over them. And I feel like that, along with the PVE campaign to help teach the game, could make the new player experience much, much better. And then, as long as we're tracking achievements, why not go ahead and track some card stats as well? This one's pretty straightforward. I won't spend a lot of time on it, but it'd be cool if each card had its own history. You could track how much damage it has been dealt, what its winning percentage is, how many battles it's won and lost, what major tournaments it's won, or total tournament prizes where that card was used at some point during the tournament for your team. How many kills it got. I want to know how many chicken kills. How many kills does my golden chicken card have? I want to know. So nothing complicated there, not much to explain. I still think it'd be very, very cool. On to the fourth one. By the way, these are not necessarily in order, although I did save my very favorite, the one I really want to see for last. But these aren't necessarily in any specific order, but I'm a little biased here, but I would like to see more done for content creators to, first off, give more incentives to bring in more content creators, and two, allow more players to see some of these videos, these video guides to help players, wherever the case is. I've seen a lot of other games where within the game they have kind of a featured videos section where you can go to that and it's going to have like some of the top content creator videos for the week or for the month, or maybe some featured ones, so they could choose like, oh, this was a good guide, kind of like if you follow Splinterlands on Twitter, they will tweet out some good videos that content creators put out. That's nice, but it'd be cool if it was right in the game, and then players could be going and looking at tips and things in there. And anytime you can help the content creators grow, it helps the game grow. As they get larger, they reach more people. It's basically free advertising. It's basically free advertising from the game. So utilize your content creators. I think something like that within the game would be pretty cool. On to the second to last one. Our number 5 here is card staking, and I wrote on here lock cards for 4+ days. I'm gonna talk about a couple things here. So this is addressing a couple of problems here. Then there's a couple of places I'd like to use staking or locked cards. So one of the problems I feel like the game has is the capture rate. I absolutely love the way capture rate works, but the problem is that you can have 4 days to recover your capture rate, and that allows people to kind of exploit rentals or exploit like delegations or multi-accounts. Some people will drain, whether it's people or bots, especially bots. Bots can drain 100% ECR on one account and then move those cards to another account on day 2 and drain 100% ECR on that. Move it to another account on day 3 and drain 100% ECR on that. And you can basically get 4 times as much ECR used if you use 4 accounts versus 1 while using the same cards or using the rental market, whatever the case is. So, and I think that can create some problems. So I think we need to have a way to kind of close those loopholes. So one of my proposals is locking cards, and that's why I say 4 days, because that's how long it takes to completely recover ECR from 0 to 100%. So you would have to lock cards for, if you want to play cards on your account, you'd basically stake them for 4 days, and they wouldn't be able to be moved to another account for 4 days. They'd be locked there for 4 days. You can still delegate cards to another account, but they would be locked there for 4 days. If you want to do rentals on the market, maybe whether it's having to stake, whether a minimum rental time is 4 days, or if the owner has to stake the cards to the rental market for 4 days. There's various things that you can do, but basically make it so you cannot manipulate ECR by using multiple accounts, by using the rental market, or trying to. I mean, you can basically get the benefits of renting and playing at the same time. I do that myself. And you can use two days worth of ECR and then rent out your cards from a day and play every other day, and you'll get a bunch of rental income. So those of you who are doing that, myself included, you might think, no, I don't want to see this. I want to see that because that hurts. I'm making money doing that way. But in reality, that is hurting the market overall. When you can get more, essentially 2 or 3 times as much out of a set of cards or a single cards, that devalues cards overall. So by eliminating some of those loopholes, we can increase the values of cards and the whole economy can benefit. So that's part of the reason there. The other part I would like to lock cards for, not necessarily for 4 days, but this is really 2 separate things. I should have separated it out, but I got lazy. Whatever. I would like to see, whenever you earn reward cards, that those reward cards are locked to your account for a specific amount of time, or a certain amount of time. And we could debate on how long that should be. Not important, whether it's a week, whether it's 6 months, whatever. Then I would like to see the ability to change that time based on, first off, staked SPS. The more SPS you have staked, the sooner you can unlock your cards to sell them on the market or delegate them or whatever the case is. Maybe still allow them to rent to be rented out, but you don't get all the fees or something like that. If you're renting out cards that aren't completely unlocked, some of those fees gets burned or something, whatever the case is. But being able to shorten that time by staking SPS, and then maybe having an ability to either increase or decrease that time based on in order to, let me start over here. Being able to change the odds on your reward pools by increasing or decreasing the amount of time the amount of time you have the cards locked for. So let's say normal time is 1 month. You could maybe have an option of, okay, you get 50% bonus to pull legendary or gold cards if instead of those cards being locked for 1 month, you agree to have them locked for 2 months before you open the chest, obviously. Or maybe you can have them only locked for 3 days, but you have a negative penalty with the gold or maybe the DEC multiplier, whatever the case is. So being able to get better or worse rewards based on how long you're willing to lock those cards in, and that could make do some interesting things with the market, and it'd be able to be an incentive for staking SPS without necessarily giving more rewards for staking SPS. I know a lot of people want to see better reward pools for having staked SPS, having like using up ECR slower if you have staked SPS. I'm not a big fan of that. I don't want players to have to stake SPS to play the game. I really don't. And this would be a way to give a benefit where you're not increasing your rewards, but you're decreasing the amount of time that those cards are locked. Somebody who doesn't have SPS staked can still opt to get the exact same rewards, they just can't sell them as soon. So I think that could be good for the economy and might be interesting as well. Again, I'm not using exact numbers here because it's not important to try and balance it. This is just me throwing around some crazy things. There's no reason to go too much into the details, but hopefully that overall concept came across, and then you guys could see that. So anyways, on to the last one, my absolute favorite one that I've been trying to push for, but that I feel would be huge for the economy, is having in-game sponsorships to boost rewards. If you go, let me actually go over here real quick. I did pull this up. If we come over, this is already built in. Like this is from a tournament, one of the tournaments that somebody can run. They have tournament sponsors set up. If you come up top, this is a clickable link here that will take you to their website. Their logo is in the background. Why not use this for things other than just tournaments? Why not use that for your everyday ranked battles and have those sponsored to infuse more cash in the economy? The example I put up here on the screen was, or what if you did like a 3 times earning weekend where Splinterlands sold a sponsorship for that, and so it's like, okay, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you guys have played games where they've had like double XP weekend, right? What if you got extra DEC from battle earnings for the weekend, and there was a sponsor that was sponsoring that, and they were tweeting that out, and okay, we've got 3 times earning this weekend sponsored by crypto.com, and then the crypto.com logos in the back of all the ranked battles for those 3 days, and they've got their logo up top there, and then the money spent there. So right now in battle earnings per day is only they distribute like $700 a day in battle earnings. So if you were to triple that over, I said 3 days on the weekend, but let's say it's just a Saturday and Sunday, 2 days, and you were going to triple that would be $2,800 for a sponsorship. I don't know too much about marketing and what type of things they can get in. I do some marketing on my channel, so I know a little bit. I feel like you could get $2,800 for a sponsorship. You'd also Splinterlands would need to take a certain cut of that for doing up like some of the, you've got to make the artwork, or for the promos, you've got to code it into the game, things like that. You've got to discuss the sponsorship deals. There's labor that comes into that, so Splinterlands would want to take the cut. But otherwise, then put that DEC into the rewards pool. Maybe even have it so, like you guys want to punish bots, right? Maybe even have it so that the bonus earnings are only for human battles. If you can have a way to determine what's bot and what's human, maybe those done directly through the website, or whether it's a capture that pops up. I'm not an expert on how you differentiate between the two, but maybe have it so just the humans are getting the bonus battle rewards or something like that, to encourage people to play and distribute those specifically to players and not to bots. And you can do there's so many things you can do with sponsorship. I said extra earnings, but maybe it's extra gold foil chance. What if you had 5-time chance to pull gold foil cards from your chest, or whatever the case is? There's so many things that they could do, and you don't have to inflate the economy with these earnings. You can take the money, go out and buy DEC and give those rewards, or go out or maybe use some of the money to do a DEC burn or something if you feel like we need to burn more DEC in the economy. Whatever the case is, use the money from the sponsorships, if it's not to boost the economy, to give it to the players, whatever the case is. And that's a way to infuse money into the game without simply just having a lot of inflation and relying on more players coming in behind. I feel like with play to earn games, the future of play to earn games is needing sponsorships like this. And Splinterlands is working on a bunch of deals for tournaments. Okay, they're working on a bunch of deals for tournaments like this, and they're going to do that a little bit. But tournaments are more for your high-end players. Something like this could be done for your everyday player through ranked battles. And I think that could really, really give the economy a boost, and I would absolutely see this. I feel like this is going to be normal in play-to-earn games eventually, because you need things like this to sustain the economy. I shouldn't say you need things like this. That's talking in too absolutes. You don't need it, but it could be a huge boost, and not only to earnings, but even just in confidence. And it is free advertising for the game too. So you take it because you can run these promotions, and that can attract attention with other games. Oh, well, how is Splinterlands paying you to play? Well, they're doing so with sponsorships, and it gives people more confidence in the game and in the economy. And I think it could be huge. And like I said, it's basically already built into the game. You've already got your sponsorship links, your sponsorship logos in the battle. Use it. I'd love to see that. So anyways, that's all I've got. This video was definitely a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I had a lot of fun with it. I hope the devs aren't giving me a hard time when they get back from the holiday weekend next week. Devs, if you're watching this, I promise I understand you're very busy. Not trying to criticize anything that you've done. Not trying to say that this should replace, any of these ideas should replace what's already there on the table. But I'm just here having fun with this, saying what I would like to see from the game. So, like I said, I'm just having fun. It's usually a fun little video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Have a great weekend.